Pulling a meter socket does not always kill the power to a specific service cable. Several steps are necessary to safely disconnect the power. Firstly, verify isolation. Ensure that all circuits are turned off or de-energized. Secondly, disconnect the meter. Loosen the bolts holding the meter to the socket and carefully pull it out. Thirdly, disconnect cable connectors. Wear proper personal protective equipment (PPE) and use appropriate tools to disconnect the cable connectors from the meter socket. Fourthly, protect connectors. Cap or cover the exposed cable connectors to prevent accidental contact. To safely connect the service cable to individual panels for each apartment, follow these steps. Firstly, prepare the service cable. Cut and strip the service cable to the appropriate length. Secondly, install the service entrance disconnect. Install a main service entrance disconnect device, for example, a breaker or switch, at the point where the service cable enters the building. Thirdly, run subfeeders to panels. Install subfeeder cables from the service entrance disconnect to each apartment panel. Fourthly, install apartment panels. Mount and connect apartment panels according to the manufacturer's instructions. Fifthly, verify connections. Tighten all electrical connections securely and use a continuity tester to verify correct wiring. The plastic tabs installed by the electric company on the meter socket prevent the meter from being reconnected without their authorization. These tabs do not affect the flow of electricity, which is why the electrician was still getting power after testing. Always follow all applicable electrical codes and safety regulations. Only qualified electricians should perform electrical work. Use proper personal protective equipment and tools when working with electricity. Contact the electric utility company for specific instructions on disconnecting and reconnecting service. When working with electrical systems, safety should always be the top priority. Understanding the proper procedures for disconnecting and connecting service cables is crucial to prevent electrical shock and other hazards. The initial step involves verifying isolation, which means ensuring that all circuits are de-energized before beginning any work. This can be achieved by turning off all the breakers or switches that supply power to the circuit in question. It's also important to use a reliable voltage tester to confirm that the circuit is indeed de-energized. Once isolation is verified, the next step is to disconnect the meter. This involves loosening the bolts that secure the meter to the socket and carefully pulling the meter out. It's essential to wear insulated gloves and safety glasses during this process to protect against accidental electrical contact. After the meter is removed, the cable connectors need to be disconnected from the meter socket. This requires using appropriate tools, such as insulated pliers and screwdrivers, to loosen the connectors and detach them from the socket. It's crucial to avoid touching any exposed wires or terminals during this process to prevent electrical shock. Once the cable connectors are disconnected, they should be capped or covered to prevent accidental contact. This can be done using insulated caps or tape. The purpose of this step is to provide an extra layer of protection against electrical hazard. When connecting the service cable to individual panels for each apartment, the first step is to prepare the service cable. This involves cutting the cable to the appropriate length and stripping the insulation to expose the wires. It's important to use a cable stripper tool to avoid damaging the wires during this process. Next, a service entrance disconnect device, such as a breaker or switch, should be installed at the point where the service cable enters the building. This device serves as the main disconnect for the entire electrical system and allows the power to be shut off in case of an emergency. Subfeeder cables should then be installed from the service entrance disconnect to each apartment panel. These cables carry the electrical power from the main disconnect to the individual panels in each apartment. The apartment panel should be mounted and connected according to the manufacturer's instructions. This involves connecting the subfeeder cables to the appropriate terminals in the panel and securing the panel to the wall. Finally, all electrical connections should be tightened securely and a continuity tester should be used to verify correct wiring. This ensures that the electrical system is properly grounded and that there are no short circuits or other wiring errors. It's important to understand that the plastic tabs installed by the electric company on the meter socket are designed to prevent unauthorized reconnection of the meter. These tabs do not affect the flow of electricity, which is why the electrician was still getting power after testing. Therefore, it's crucial to contact the electric utility company for specific instructions on disconnecting and reconnecting service. In addition to these specific procedures, it's also important to follow all applicable electrical codes and safety regulations when working with electrical systems. This includes wearing proper personal protective equipment, using appropriate tools, and following lockout/tagout procedures to prevent accidental energization of circuits. Only qualified electricians should perform electrical work. These professionals have the knowledge, skills, and experience necessary to safely and effectively work with electrical systems. Attempting to perform electrical work without the proper training and experience can be extremely dangerous and can result in serious injury or even death. Furthermore, it's crucial to contact the electric utility company for specific instructions on disconnecting and reconnecting service. The utility company may have specific requirements or procedures that must be followed to ensure the safety of the electrical system and the public. In summary, disconnecting and connecting apartment electrical service safely requires a thorough understanding of the proper procedures, the use of appropriate tools and equipment, and adherence to all applicable electrical codes and safety regulations. By following these guidelines, you can minimize the risk of electrical shock and other hazards and ensure the safety of yourself and others. Remember, if you are not a qualified electrician, it's always best to leave electrical work to the professionals. Safety is paramount when dealing with electricity. The procedures described highlight key steps to mitigate risk. Firstly, de-energizing circuits before commencing work is vital. A reliable voltage tester is indispensable to confirm the absence of voltage. Secondly, insulated gloves and safety glasses are essential personal protective equipment, safeguarding against accidental contact and potential arc flashes. Thirdly, the use of insulated tools, such as pliers and screwdrivers, minimizes the risk of electrical shock during disconnection and connection processes. Fourthly, capping or covering exposed cable connectors provides an additional layer of protection, preventing inadvertent contact. When connecting service cables, proper preparation is critical. The use of a cable stripper tool ensures that wires are not damaged during insulation removal. A service entrance disconnect device serves as the main control point for the electrical system, allowing for complete power shutoff in emergencies. Sub-feeder cables must be appropriately sized and installed to carry the electrical loads safely to each apartment panel. Secure mounting and connection of apartment panels, following the manufacturer's instructions, guarantees stability and prevents loose connections. Finally, thorough verification of connections using a continuity tester ensures correct wiring and grounding, minimizing the risk of short circuits. Plastic tabs on meter sockets serve a crucial purpose in preventing unauthorized meter reconnection, safeguarding against energy theft and potential hazards. Contacting the electric utility company for specific instructions is paramount, as they possess unique knowledge of the local grid and safety protocols. Adherence to all applicable electrical codes and safety regulations is non-negotiable. Lockout/tagout procedures are crucial to prevent accidental energization of circuits during maintenance or repair. Only qualified electricians should undertake electrical work, possessing the necessary expertise to handle complex systems safely. The potential consequences of improper electrical work are severe, ranging from property damage to life-threatening injuries. In conclusion, prioritizing safety, following established procedures, and entrusting electrical work to qualified professionals are fundamental to ensuring a safe and reliable electrical system in any multi-unit apartment building.